Welcome to twitch.tv/ice cream. Up. Loads. Sorry, we've been listening to Dr. Disrespect's old school shit, which just reminded me of his name. It's Doctor. So yeah. Sorry, Twitch, don't ban me. I am wearing a Twitch hoodie, so you can't ban me. It's fine. We are allowed to acknowledge that the doc exists now, right? But we're still not allowed to play with him or something. I don't know. But anyway, welcome into twitch.tv/ice cream uploads. My name is Graham Dev, joined by the Bibby. I'll read Bib.
Good. After morning now. It's nearly 2:30, Graham, but it's Friday, so it don't matter.
It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday. What? It's Friday. That's a tune, that, by the way. Absolute bangers. Absolute bangers. If you're in the chat, please do feel free to get involved. If you don't know who we are, I did just say it, but pretty fast. But my name is Graham. This is Bibby. We are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true Ice Cream fashion, this is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. We go live on twitch.tv/ice cream uploads each and every single weekday, bringing you The Scoop, which gives you the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. But we will then give you our thoughts and impressions on those stories. We then want to hear your thoughts and impressions, and then your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. That's how this whole thing works. So please do feel free to get involved over the next hour or so. And it's important that you do, because we turn the live stream into a podcast. We are live on twitch.tv/ice cream uploads right now. But the video gets turned into but we turn that into a video, should I say. There we go, nice. On YouTube and to an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So if in the chat, please do feel free to get involved on behalf of everyone that watches this stream on demand, and there's a lot of them. There is a fucking lot of them. God damn, all the people. Do you know what? I think Bibby knows how many there is. How many is the Bib?
Scrambling. It's scrambling. I'll tell you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 580, including this.
Yeah, I was asking how many people, but okay.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said how many episodes. I apologize. But yeah, it's over 130,000. It's probably tipping towards 140 now, if I'm being honest.
See, that's good. 580, though. I didn't know that. We're approaching 600 episodes of The Scoop. It doesn't seem like 5 seconds ago that we hit 500 episodes of The Scoop, and we've had to miss off a bunch of episodes in that time. We had a full week off last week or the week before, so damn.
Yeah, it still doesn't feel long ago since we launched the podcast, but here we are.
It's in no time at all. It's going to be a case of there will be enough episodes for people to sit and listen to The Scoop every day of the year for 2 full years, and it will still feel like it's only 5 minutes since we actually started doing it, since we filmed the pilot in the studio. God damn. So yes, if you're in the chat, please do feel free to get involved. As mentioned, we are live on Twitch, so if you do get involved, nice, because you influence the content on Twitch, but also on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, YouTube, all of the places. So please do feel free to get involved. Before we go any further, we need to see a little bit of, the talking points that we have, obviously, as we always do at the start of every stream, is the fact that we have the loot drop. One person every month gets a free prize from us just for being a sub to the channel. Out of all of the subs, one subscriber gets a prize. And this month it was Chaos, who has his hat. He chose a flat peak hat. It arrived today, and he posted a picture in the Discord. As I say that as well, I see Vivalanko is in the chat as well. So Viv has put hashtag hats. I saw his hat arrived as well, and he's also put a picture in the Discord. So all the hat things. You got a flat as well, right, Viv?
Both got flats because they are elite people.
Absolute travesty. Absolute.
To be fair, all curved peak hats all start flat. So it's just an it's just an evolution, but
so we're more evolved than you. Okay, I get you now.
Potentially, yeah, but you could also say deformed. So,
no, you couldn't. Evolved is better.
Yeah.
Hashtag Hatgate.
Picking and choosing. Yeah, yeah, cherry picking here.
I see what you did there, babe. Actually, but that doesn't suit the narrative that I'm trying to peddle. So if you could just stick with the one that I said, thank you very much. By order of the flat cap wankers. Oh wait. Yes, exactly. Yeah. The Bleaky Pinders. There you go. Have that. Ooh, yeah. Anyway, as well as that, the loot drop, we also have a big shout out for !Astro because if you jump into Bibby's screen, I mean, you look at my stream. You see all this stuff behind me there, and then we jump into Biggie's stream. Yeah, Big Air. Let's go into Big Air. Oh, you can't see because almost invisible me's there. Ooh. I actually look like I'm sat in the A10 box. Look at me, just sat in a box of Astro A10s.
So something very deeply depressing happened this morning, Graham, and it wasn't me just actually waking up again. But I turned my light off, my Batman light, like 2 days ago, and I can't get it to come back on again now. I've unplugged it, I've plugged it back in, I've unplugged it from the mains rather than from the extension lead, and I still can't get it to come on. So it could be that I have to
Dead
take it
battery?
off the wall and try it in a different plug in the house.
Dead battery.
But yeah, well, yeah. You see that?
Oh,
See the red light?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Okay, it's not that.
I've actually got 2 remotes, and neither of them, they both work, but none of them seem to be working on that, which is deeply depressing.
For those in the chat that are wondering why Bibby has 2 remotes, it's one for each Lambo, just in case you were wondering. So
Absolutely.
if he's in like his other Lambo and he realizes, oh shit, I've left the bat signal on, he can just boop, get rid of it. So yeah, exclamation mark Astro. We are Astro partners. We can get you some discount, and you can support us by using our code and our link. As well as that, there's a bunch of other stuff that you can use. Insert coin stuff, GT Omega stuff. Do you know what? Even some Lego bits as well. Although, oh.
He's just pointing to the insert coin stuff.
I thought I was like, what's he doing? Is
I can't quite see what I'm looking at here, so I'm just assuming that whatever's on the screen you can see behind me. But
I thought we were just having a gander at the Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil 2 posters. I was like, yeah, they're pretty nice then. Yeah, nice.
Not this time.
Not this time. Let me see. Is Bibby in the studio? He is in the studio, and now he's not. He's back at home again. Let's go. Okay, we are here to talk you through the biggest, the best, the breaking stories for the last 24 hours or so from video games. If you haven't been here before, we will go through the stories. We'll give you a quick rundown of what we're going to talk through the day. And then, yeah, obviously you can choose to stick around or bugger off. We don't care. We do care. Please stick around. Don't know. It's fine. But the stories that we have, some big ones, actually. That's what she said. Tom Ivan at VGC has the first story. It says, Bethesda has officially delayed Starfield and Redfall to 2023. Big games. And almost exclusively, the entire... I say almost exclusively. It could be everything that Bethesda is planning to release between now and the end of the year has been pushed back. There is nothing else. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not, that means Bethesda will have no games coming out this year and just move them back to next year. That is shocking behavior and absolutely something that they should not be doing, is what people would say if they've got very, very short memories, because Bethesda did exactly that with Fallout 76 and paid for that for a long period of time. So they've pushed games back. We'll go through that first. Elsewhere, do you know what? Not quite as far as into next year, but it is into next year. But we have confirmed right at the start of next year. Dead Space's Remakes release date has been confirmed, and that will be out in January. So expect, after you've had all your joyful Christmas stuff, you know, we've played Fortnite with lightsabers at Christmas, which is not going to happen because obviously we've just had them. But still, you got through all your Christmas stuff. You've devoured cakes and all other alternative meals, turkeys and all the rest. You know, you're feeling festive. We can get in space, get the shit out of ourselves, and have good times. Nice. After that, Criterion and Codemasters have merged their studios to work on a new Need for Speed game. And then 2 stories that we've shelved from earlier on in the week. We'll talk about Ubisoft having everything it needs to remain independent the day before being delayed. So it should now be called the day after, really, I suppose.
The year later.
Yeah, exactly. The day before what? And then finally, we'll wrap things up with a little bit of a recap of what is free right now on the Epic Games Store. Lovely. Haven't they got another Skyrim release this year? Oh, yeah, I forgot about the 6 of those. There's 6 more of those. You find an electronic device that doesn't have a Skyrim mod/release for it, that is coming out this year. And then find another one that's later this year. But for now, no Skyrim. We will keep the conversation about Bethesda, though, as we jump into our first story. This one on your screen now, written by Tom Ivan at VGC. Bethesda has officially delayed Starfield and Redfall to 2023. The games will now be released in the first half of next year. Jumping into the body then, Bethesda has officially delayed the release of both Starfield and Redfall from this year to 2023. In a statement published on Thursday, the Xbox-owned publisher said it needed more time to develop the games. Quote, "We've made the decision today to delay the launches of Redfall and Starfield to the first half of 2023, it said. The teams at Arcane Austin, in brackets Redfall, and Bethesda Game Studios, Starfield, have incredible ambitions for their games, and we want to ensure that you receive the best, most polished versions of them. We want to thank everyone for their excitement for Redfall and Starfield. The energy is that energy is a huge part of what inspires all of us every day and drives our own excitement for what we are creating," it added. "We can't wait to share our first deep dive into the gameplay for both Redfall and Starfield soon. Both games are likely to feature during Microsoft's E3-style Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase event on June the 12th. No way I'm calling them E3-style showcases. It's just E3. It is what it is. I know it's not, but it is. Same, but different, but still same. So, yeah. Starfield appeared during last year's Xbox and Bethesda Showcase, marking the first time it had been shown since its announcement in 2018. We can stop there. We know. We've seen bits in Starfield. If you haven't, you can check it all up. If you've not seen the Redfall bits, you can check that stuff too. It's basically vampire-y. What was it? What did we say it looked like? It was vampires, but almost Fortnite-y sort of vibes, and maybe Overwatchy kind of stuff too. Look decent. But either way, two massive releases that may have, if not top and tailed Xbox's last conference, they've definitely topped and or tailed conferences over the last couple of years. So these are conference leading or closing caliber games, both of which are now not coming out until the first half of next year. What are your thoughts, babe?
It's that old word again, isn't it, Graham, that always gets thrown around now about the polish. Obviously, the need to try and make this be as glamorous as possible when it comes out, because you don't want a repeat of Fallout. I mean, not that they are in any way comparable, but just trying to avoid launches like that is obviously in Bethesda's best interest. It's a shame, because I'm actually super looking forward to playing Redfall more so than anything else. It was one of those games where it definitely is a baby game all over, but it's one of those ones that you want to be able to have that co-op experience with and be extremely happy and in the moment and feeling the atmosphere and everything else, and having the voice actors like Rahul Kohli in there as well it's a big win for me. But Starfield as well, obviously that's a game that everyone's been looking forward to a small degree myself. I'm not super looking forward to it, but I was happy to see what the game looked like and then potentially pick it up later down the line. But Redfall is the most disappointing one for me. But again, we're in a period of time now where games have come out and they haven't been up to standard. They've obviously ended up losing a lot of money and having extremely bad press for it. So it doesn't surprise me nowadays that games are being pushed back with just using the word, we just want to polish it, rather than giving a full explanation as to why it is that they're going to be delaying it. Again, polish could be anything. It could mean that they're just upscaling the assets, they're moving over to, well, potentially not moving over to a different engine, but it's an all-encompassing word for details that they don't want to reveal. And it does annoy me a little bit, because it's almost a little bit transparent, because they use it for everything and we genuinely don't know the reason why. Not that they always that reasoning as to why they're delaying it. I think they technically don't owe us anything.
It's a fancier way of saying just because we're delaying the game. Why? Just because.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
It's a shame that it gets put under that umbrella all the time. But it's just the way that the world is when it comes to video games now. I'm glad that they're putting it back and they're not releasing it as a shit show. But I suppose we're going to have to do nothing but wait. But first half of 2023, they've not even listed a quarter. So it could be anything up until June, July time next year, which is a long old time in video games.
Yeah, do you know, I'm going to rejig the order of the articles, and I'm going to jump into one that was an article that we should have been looking at earlier on in the week, just because you mentioned that they've not actually mentioned the date when that is coming out, even though it's been delayed. Well, not everyone does that. This one is a game that we are hugely excited about. We've mentioned it many times before. This is written by Andy Chalk at PC Gamer. It says, Steam's most wish-listed game is delayed by nearly a year. The day before, which is a mix, of DayZ, The Last of Us, and The Division, is moving to Unreal Engine 5. See, stopping for a second. See, this is the only thing I would say is I don't like things being delayed, but transparency is good. So we already have a reason now for a delay. Okay, that's good, and it's been delayed until when? So we'll keep. Wait, do we have that information? Let's keep reading. So the day before struck us as part DayZ, a smidge of The Last of Us, and a bit of The Division thrown in for good measure. End quote. When we got our first good look at it back in 2021, the open world MMO survival game with zombies clearly wasn't the most original concept ever, but the games it's inspired by are pretty good, and it's been developed by the team that developed The Wild 8, the game that lets you eat your own dead body to survive in a pinch. Nice. In my book, that makes The Day Before worth a second look all on its own. Interest in The Day Before is clearly high. It's number 1 on Steam's top wishlist chart. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait longer than expected to find out if it's any good. In a bit of good news, bad news, developer Fantastic told IGN that it's switching to UE5, but that means it's going to be delayed by nearly a year past its intended date. Quote, feeling and understanding the great responsibility that we face, with enormous gratitude in our hearts, we're pleased to announce that The Day Before is switching to the new Unreal Engine 5 technology, the studio said. The transition to a more advanced and adapted open worlds engine will make the gameplay of The Day Before even more fantastic. In this regard, we inform you that the new release date of the game will be March the 1st, 2023. The Day Before looks pretty good in the release date trailer from last year's last year that's embedded above, and which obviously is no longer relevant as far as the whole release date things goes, but the shift to UE5 could pay real dividends. We noted in our look at the new engine last month that it offers a number of features specific to open world games. One, called World Partition, handles on-the-fly loading and unloading of open worlds as players move through them, while another, Data Layers, enables developers to create different variations of the same world, such as daytime and nighttime versions, or intact and broken geometry as layers that exist in the same space. Fantastic isn't the only studio, though. Do you know what? We don't need to talk about other studios. We can stop there. Basically, a little bit of a contrast now. So we have two articles focusing on delays. Bethesda, Starfield, and Redfall have been delayed until next year. The Day Before has been delayed until next year. One is just because. The other one has we're moving to Unreal Engine 5 and gives you a day and date. We've got March 1st, 2023 release. Boom. That's the thing. That's what I like. That's what I like. What I will say is, did we ever have a release date for Starfield? I don't think we did, and I don't think we did for Redfall. So maybe that's the difference. The fact that Starfield and Redfall didn't actually have release dates. I could be wrong. Do feel free to correct me if I am wrong. So they've gone.
It was meant to be this year, though.
Yeah, I just feel like because they haven't gone June 1st this year to June 1st next year. They've just gone this year, okay, to next year. Whereas The Day Before did have a release date, so they've gone hard and flat from one release date to another. So it's essentially keeping parity. Redfall and Starfield didn't have dates, but they had windows. So they've gone from one window to another. That said, I still like the fact that we have a specific reason in there. That said, if the reason is just, we've spoken about it before, the fact that having your game delayed because your team hasn't been able to develop with the pandemic as well as you'd like them to is not a bad thing. But people inevitably will be tired of hearing that sort of stuff. People don't have patience when it's something that they want to enjoy. People can be absolute asses. So if you go, okay, yeah, this game's not coming out because the pandemic interfered. A lot of people will be like, yeah, but that was 2 years ago when that started. It's like you do realise that games aren't just made in 12 months, you know, right? This is a long period of time. But so it could just be a case of it's that. It could just be a case of, do you know what? This game we wanted to make as good as it is, and we didn't realise that to make it as good as it is, we need more time because it's going to be fucking shit hot. Just put that in your press release. I mean, to be fair, it's going to be an absolute banger, so we put it back a little bit to make sure it pops. Oh, nice, yeah, sweet, let's have a little bit of that. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Same, but same. It is, but same. So The Day Before, mix of DayZ, Last of Us, Division has been delayed to next year. That follows on from Bethesda delaying Starfield and Redfall. Same sentiments from you, or anything else you want to add, babe?
Yeah, I mean, as gamers, obviously we're very easy and quick to criticize. I especially am, because I hate the word being thrown around polished, as I've just explained. The reason why, because it's always very vague and you don't necessarily know the reason for that. Is it because they haven't got enough marketing budget to be able to put the game out on other platforms and they can't promote their own tweets or anything? Or is it just because the game's not ready for them? Like, people can draw their own conclusions, but do you think that we deserve the transparency as gamers? Do you think that we should be told the reason why, or do you reckon it should just be? Because I mean, it would get rid of the speculation as to why it's potentially going to be put back. But do you think that we actually deserve to know the reason why?
My gut reaction is yes, I do. And the reason I say that is because if a film's put back, a film's put back. Okay, it's just coming back to from July to September, November, December, whatever. And that I don't mind that as much, because a film is passive. You sit there and you're not involved with it. Whereas video game companies have understood that video games are an active medium. You get involved with the games. You follow their social channels. You watch and you get drops and things on their marketing. You buy into stuff and get pre-orders. That's my Slack, by the way, so I'm going to kill that now. If stop triggering anyone else that has Slack open. It's me. It's gone. Bye. So I feel like when it comes to video games, you can't have your cake and eat it. It's like, we want you to be fully engaged with us and our games and our brands at all time, but we don't want to be fully engaged with you. So I like transparency, and some brands are really transparent. Like I know we talk about it a lot recently. We kind of gave up on it for a long time, but Fortnite, super transparent with what they're doing, or at least it seems that way. And that's the key thing, is you don't necessarily have to be entirely transparent. You just have to keep people in the loop, or at least make them feel like they're in the loop. And that's the thing with Starfield. It was 2018 when that was first announced. That's 4 years ago. Plus, it's got another year on the end of that. We went for years without finding out anything of that, about that, and like, you end up with where State of Decay is right now. We played State of Decay last year and year before, or whenever it was, for a good chunk, because it's a badass game. It's fucking amazing, and I can't wait for the next one. But then you end up having conversations like we had the other day. Yeah, what happened to that? Where is it? What is? And turns out the reason that disappeared was because there's all sorts of issues and there's things going on in the studios. So more often than not, people assume lack of news as bad news. So I just feel like just giving a little bit of information, just enough, is what it should be. So, but that, they have, I suppose, done that to an extent. If you read that, the teams want to ensure you that they're getting you the best, most polished version of the game. Okay, what wouldn't have been polished? Is my question there. Okay, we've realised that the engine that we're working on takes a little bit more time to render the environments or whatever. I don't know. That's where I'd want to know that information. But yeah. But then again, I'm in the top 10%, as we've said it before. The people in this stream are in the top 10% of dedicated, committed gamers, not just mainstream gamers that pick up and play. A lot of people will just get the, I'm not asked about why it's delayed, just tell me if it is and when it's coming out. So, yeah, maybe we're the exception to the cause. God damn it.
God damn it.
Haven't Skyrim for the e-fridge. Fuck me, I just googled and they've actually got it running on a fridge. Yeah, that's where our memes come from. We were like, Skyrim on a calculator, an old Casio watch. Yeah, let's go. But
Only with Doom. Doom's playable on a calculator.
God damn. That face looks like Bibby when he hears about more Skyrim editions. Which face?
This face, constantly.
I am so down for that game day before. Yes. It looks incredible. Genuinely, I'm not going to say it's going to be the best game ever, because it could 100% be one of those, aha, you believe the hype and it turned out it was dog shit games. It could be, because we haven't really seen anything. We've seen moving images, trailers. We don't know if someone's playing that live, if it's been shot in rendered engines, if it's multiple scenes that have been cut together, and so on, if it's the final version of it or what. So, but what they are preaching is incredible. It sounds amazing what they are preaching, and what we've seen on like this. There's been two different trailers, I believe. There was one that was in the city centre, and then there was one where they drove out through mud, and they were showing you like how the different ground can impact on your vehicles. And they were at a petrol station, and they went pulled up to a house, and police cars came, and other people came, and there's an underground bunker, and there was all sorts of stuff going, and it just sounds ridiculous. So, but in a good way. So hopefully it's phenomenal. It just shows you already though. We've not finished covering what games are coming out next year. Just as the start of the show, we do have another story to jump into, which we'll do in just a second. But already for next year, we are looking at Redfall, Starfield, and the day before. Already next year.
It's not a bad list, is it? Really? Let's be honest.
And then what we had the other day, there's like 4 or 5 EA releases, including 4 more on Skyrim on the Casio wristwatch. Yeah, good point, Viv. Nice. So there's all those, plus there's 4 more EA games and stuff coming, and then there's multiple Star Wars games, Indiana Jonesy sort of stuff as well. Woo! I mean,
God damn.
Yeah, I know it's been said pretty much every year for the past few years that this year, next year, whatever year could be a big year for games, and then some get delayed and so on. But next year, yeah, like Baby said, God damn.
God damn.
Iceman, how you doing, dude? Cue many people using a certain Shigeru Miyamoto quote that was said at the time before post-launch updates and improvement. What the one of like that was basically you only get one chance at a first impression. That one. The best auto cannibalism can look on Unreal Engine 5. You want to eat yourself? Nice. UE5 makes it look fucking shit hot. Another problem with polish, it doesn't stop a turd being a turd. Exactly, that's the thing. Yeah, you can polish and polish and polish, but if you're giving me a big steaming pile of shit and I had to wait even longer for it, then it's worse. No. Welsh Dragons, welcome in. Yo, lads, can I ask a question? What are you expecting, if anything, from season 2 of eFootball? I actually don't really know. I don't really know what are in the seasons. So,
Is it, what are you expecting? As in, like, things that are going to be realistic, or things that we actually want in terms of like game, not game modes, but I just mean like events and stuff. Like, just more events. That's all I want. Just be able to get the opportunity to get more.
I absolutely know what I'm expecting. I'm expecting me to miss out on every Kylian Mbappe that comes along in the featured players agents every week, 100%, just like I did this fucking week. And that's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm expecting. It's fine. Yeah.
Well, yeah, just more events. That's what I want. I want the opportunity to be able to, like the J League one, where you got to play as whatever J League team against other J League teams, not just necessarily always playing with my dream team, just the option to be able to play with lesser teams or different teams and then playing against each other to accrue more GP and things like that. That's what I want. I want it to not just be about going into divisions. I want the whole kit and caboodle. I want to be able to experience the entire world of football rather than it just being limited to 11 random players on a pitch that are either super souped up in various formations, or playing with, like I said, the A-League players or the J-League players or whichever ones. Just be able to give it a bit more of a contrast. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, see, I find it hard to quite say from my personal perspective, because I've always been an offline player. I know it's old school and it's not the modern game, but I find it hard to focus on the content and things there, because my content angles are always Master League, become a legend and things like that. So it's hard for me to focus on the content. Beyond that, just playing a game is enough for me. So someone like Baby's input is much, much more useful for you on that question there. When it comes to, see, I even call it my club, Dream Team. There we go. When it comes to Dream Team, I have a Dream Team. It's pretty well stacked. I've just signed Klopp as my manager because, you know, playing counter-attack, that's good. And I have got some decent players. I've managed to full on got the United bug that I needed, because I've signed Sancho, Ronaldo and Bruno, one of United player from each of the agents, and I'm 100% getting Rafael Varane when he comes out on Monday as well. God damn! But yeah, that's after that, I'll sign the players. I'll play a few versus AI games kind of thingy, and then not Maguire. I don't think so. because he's not in it though, is he? I actually haven't seen it in game. I saw some that Sepp was sharing, so it might have not even been real. To be fair, I didn't actually look at that much. It was just one of Sepp's tweets, and it was like the featured players that are coming on Monday or something. And I saw Varane was in there. If Maguire's in there, then I'll stick with Carlos Puyol. Thank you very much. Although I've got Marquinhos and he's fucking badass. He's an absolute baller. Marquinhos. If anyone has a chunk of money and wants to spend on a defender, is about 300k GP. Marquinhos, you will not regret it. Do it. Okay, continuing talking about games that are coming out next year. So we have Redfall, we have Starfield, we have The Day Before. All absolute bangers. Tell you what, we don't have a game that's going to make you shit your pants.
Shit my pants.
I suppose Day Before, zombies and that, darkness probably could do, but not like this. Jordan Midler at VGC says Dead Space Remakes release date has been confirmed for January. The game is, quote, making great progress. I shit my pants. I shit my pants. The game is making great progress according to Motive. So the Dead Space Remakes release date has been announced. The sci-fi horror game will release for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on January 27th. 2023. In a statement, Philip Ducharme, I don't know how you pronounce that. Ducharme, good old Philippe says, senior producer of Dead Space, said, quote, developing this remake has been a lot of fun for us at Motive, as we're true fans of the franchise and want to treat it with the respect it deserves. It's been equally exciting to see players' reactions as we're taking them on this development journey with us. They've gone with his surname rather than his first name now. Do you know what? I'm going to go full on. He's full on French. He might not be French, but he's now Philippe Ducharme. That's his name. Ducharme also said that the game is making great progress on our road to hitting alpha, and we're happy to announce that the game will be launching in January next year. The original Dead Space follows Isaac Clarke, an everyman engineer on a routine mission to fix a gigantic mining starship, the USG Ishimura. But aboard the Ishimura, a living nightmare awaits. The ship's crew has been slaughtered and infected, and Isaac's girlfriend Nicole is missing somewhere on board. We'll leave it there. We will leave it there. I am going to jump back through the comments because I did miss a few. Unreal Engine VR with haptic feedback. Feel thyself, eating thyself, says Viv. Just imagine if someone comes in, what you doing? Oh, I'm just nibbling a bit my shoulder off. Not Jones? I don't think so. Mon Dieu. Exactly. All right, mate. Yeah, mate. Philip Ducharme. There you go. Ducharme. So Dead Space Remake. Do you know what? I'm playing this. I will. I guarantee I am playing this. However, I will step back because I want to watch Bibby play this on stream, so I can turn all of the donation noises and all of the bit noises up stupidly loud, so we can watch Bibby shit his pants.
I'm very open to playing horror games on this channel, Graham. You should, you know this. Everyone else should know this by now. So this is absolutely one that I'm going to be trying to get through in as few streams as possible. Maybe 2. I try to limit myself to like 3 streams, depending on how long the game is. So hopefully 2 or 3 streams will get this completed. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to being able to play this again. It looks so good. It does. If anyone hasn't seen the Dead Space remake, we don't have tons of content for it yet, but even just the little bits that are there look great. So I mean, like, this is not necessarily entertainment content as opposed to like more educational and entertainment content. So this is look at how the teams have put the environments together to create Dead Space. Does it give you any actual movements? No, is it still all static? Anything that moves. There you go. So this development footage not represented final version, but it still looks good. Yeah. That, a little bit darker, with a shit my pants. Yeah. So yeah, do feel free to join us on Twitch as Bibby will actually follow through for your viewing. Absolutely.
Pleasure.
Hopefully, because the original one I did. And I actually played through the original one not that long ago because it was on Game Pass. So it's kind of fresh in my mind as well. So yeah, I'm super looking forward to getting back into this again. Oh my God. It's gonna be great.
Oh
The
my
atmosphere in space. No one can hear you screaming in space.
god! No, but we can
Don't
hear you
fucking
on
hear me
Twitch.
screaming in Newton. I'm telling you now.
We were talking about that the other day when we were on Wednesday, talking about the Visage stream where you're a dickhead.
Oh yeah, Samantha going full mank. Yeah, no worries. Fantastic piece of content. That's one
Oh,
of my favourite clips.
wonderful. Feel the texture of the flesh of your shoulder as it enters your mouth. To be fair, PlayStation would be all over that using the haptics. Do you know if you pull back on the trigger, it's like biting a bit of flesh off your shoulder and pulling it, and then you can feel it getting harder. Fuck off, PlayStation. It's a controller trigger. Leave it alone. Do you know what? We're going to leave that alone. We're going to jump into something a little bit different. So the show entirely and accidentally so far has been about games for next year. Well, do you know what? This will probably lead to games for next year, but it's interesting news that's happening right now. ISSY van der Velde at The Gamer has this article that says Criterion and Codemasters merge studios to work on a new Need for Speed game. So two iconic British studios will now work on the series together. So Codemasters announced this morning, which was yesterday, that its Cheshire studio would be merging with the Criterion development team to create the future of Need for Speed. These two racing game powerhouses will remain in their current separate locations, but will merge to become one Criterion studio with two location hubs. The Burnout and F1 developers pooling knowledge and talents. The Burnout and F1 developers pooling knowledge and talent sounds like a great thing for the future of Need for Speed. Fortunately, GamesIndustry.biz has reported that this merge hasn't resulted in any redundancies, meaning these two iconic teams will be working together at full power for the foreseeable future. EA bought Codemasters last year for $1.2 billion, and the CEO and CFO of Codemasters left the studio just a few months later. At the time of the acquisition, EA stated that the purchase would allow it to launch new racing experiences annually. We haven't had a mainline Need for Speed game for almost 3 years now. Heat launched in 2019 and returned the series to what it became known for during the popular Underground era, running from police and pimping out slick rides. It scored markedly higher in critical reviews than its predecessor Need for Speed Payback, and the series has been taken from developer Ghost Games and given to Criterion. I'm going to keep going, just because it gives you a little bit more context. So Criterion was reportedly already working on an upcoming Need for Speed title, potentially set to launch this November, though no official word on it has been received yet. If the rumours are true, this new game will leave the last-gen consoles in the rearview mirror and parallel park on the Xbox Series S, Xbox Series and PS5 consoles. It's also said to feature photorealistic visuals and anime elements, whatever that means. Okay, this is the bit that I wanted, so I'm going to read the next paragraph as well, because this is something that came up in my mind when I first heard of this merger. This is interesting news for Codemasters, a studio that has built a name for itself making the F1 series of racing simulators. EA's CEO did originally state that the studio would retain its individuality, but it now appears only parts of it will. Codemasters Birmingham is still working on F1, at least. Okay, so we'll put a pin in it at that point in time. Codemasters, picked up by EA last year for a big old chunk of money, was always going to do its own thing. But now it isn't, because Codemasters is no longer going to exist. Codemasters will be absorbed by Criterion and changed into a different Criterion hub. What are your thoughts, babe?
Yeah, when you're inheriting Codemasters, you're inheriting an experience of creating exceptional racing games. I mean, the days are long gone of them making LMA Manager and stuff like that. It's literally just seems to be racing games nowadays. So then working on Need for Speed seems like a pretty easy job for them, shall we say? Again, with all the wealth of experience. Need for Speed, though, is it? It was once the market leader when it comes to racing games. Does it still have that oomph to make it compete with the likes of Forza and Gran Turismo? And I don't know. Like people clamour for another Underground, but are the days gone where those games are going to be popular? Because I genuinely feel like that era's been and gone. It'll be a long time before we see it again. Obviously, you got the crew from Ubisoft as well. I don't know if they're making a new one anytime soon.
Midnight Club.
Midnight Club, yeah, that was an absolute banger too. Well, these are games from a lost generation.
I need to pose one critical point to you though, and that critical point is rum dum dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, dum. Do you know, I don't think there will be a day that we talk about Need for Speed without mentioning that noise somewhere.
Obviously,
it's not even Need for Speed; it's a song that exists outside the game, but we mention it when it's Need for Speed anyway. Yeah, I do kind of believe that games have moved on, but I also believe there is a big place for them. And the reason I say that is because, yes, Forza exists. Yes, GT exists. But I'm not playing Forza or Gran Turismo. The most exciting one of the two for me is Forza because of the almost RPG-ish elements in there. There's more story to it. And that's what I like from my racing games. I do feel like racing games can't just be, oh, you're in a car and you never actually see a guy get out of them. I know Need for Speed went that way in the past where you could get out of the cars and everyone was like, oh, Need for Speed has gone Grand Theft Auto. EA are doing GTA. And that was spoken about 5-6 years ago, 7 years ago, maybe, whenever it was. And I can't remember what Need for Speed it was. And the reason I can't remember is because it was not very good. So I do feel there is a place for racing games. Grand Theft Auto, with its online races, proves that vastly enough. There are people that will just go into GTA to do that because racing is something they want to do, but it doesn't necessarily just need to be segregated anymore. So I feel like racing games need more attention to break out of that pigeonholing of, oh, this is a car game, because it needs story. We need good facial animation. We need like your LA Noire sort of like getting out of your vehicle and exploration stuff and having back and forth discussions, but then also having the car stuff alongside that, having the customization, being able to put a neon ground kit on an absolute top of the range Honda Civic or Vauxhall Nova, whatever you want. Vauxhall Nova, absolute big things, but yeah, still, definitely, there's definitely a space for racing games if racing games wants to change its space. Is what I'm trying to say. There is a place for racing games as they are, but I don't think they will capture what they had 10, 15, 20 years ago. Definitely that. I mean, even Fast and the Furious has realised you can't just make it be just about racing cars anymore. You need to have fucking the longest runway in the world, The Rock, fucking John Cena and whoever else in it now, because just having races is so 20 years ago, mate. And that's I think that's the same thing applies to games. That said, go on, continue. What do you see?
I was going to say that there's a whole generation of people who wouldn't have played Underground way back in the day, either one of them. So that kind of way to customize, because obviously you've got this in Forza Horizon now, and you can go out and you can buy your car, you can do your car up, you can make it faster if you really want. But there was no everything that's available in Forza Horizon eclipses what was available in Underground 2 and Underground 1. It's a million miles better than they were, but it was just a game that was kind of lost in time, as if it's just been resurrected from somewhere. But it's a game that people will talk about. Like, I'll talk about it to my brother, who's 15 years younger than me, but he will just be like, yeah, but why would I play that? Because I got Forza Horizon. Which is it's perfectly understandable and it's perfectly logical, because it's so much better than those games were. But they were games of their time. But is it, you either got your tracker, your free, or your open world. There is storytelling to be told in racing games. It's just, how do you tell those stories that I actually want to keep? Because there isn't that much of a story in Forza Horizon. Like, it's pretty much, go and find some barns. Then inside the barn is a car. They'll do the car up for you, be able to get it, go and win some races. Like, there isn't that much to it. There's no storyline behind it, really. So, is that where this could potentially come in? Is this what a Need for Speed game is going to be like? Not like Driver. I just seen ads put it in the chat saying Driver. That was good. That blurred the lines between storytelling and driving a car and racing and getting away from the cops and stuff like that. But I don't know what the direction is, and I'm glad it's not my job, because I don't think I would be able to come up with something that would cater to both crowds. I think you can either do one or the other extremely well. It's just very difficult to find that middle ground, because, again, Forza hasn't found it. Gran Turismo is literally just track racing. Forza Motorsport is just track racing. So the crew's pretty good at it, if I'm being honest. The crew's storylines were okay. That's probably the best it's been done for a long time.
Well, I feel like sim is not for me. If people just want the driving to recreation, but in a digital world, then driving sims are where you need to be. Anything beyond that, I feel like if you release just a racing game these days, you're releasing something that has been done, dusted, built on, and moved on. The genre of racing games has evolved to the point where there is two genres of racing games now. You've got racing sim, or you've got something else that ticks over into the racing style. So the key thing there, though, is that you said Forza has some story in, but doesn't also really have, and that's the reason why that's probably the game that I would play the most, but also is a game that I still haven't played. So yeah, got my attention, but not enough to me jump out of my way to get a console to pick it up and play it, kind of thing. So a great Need for Speed. I mean, Need for Speed Heat did get my attention, and that was, it just came out at a busy sort of time. I remember seeing it at Gamescom. Me and Bibi went and mooched around the stands. I was like, "Ooh, okay, this looks good."
Yeah.
Branding looks very ICU anyway. Let's put it that way as well. And then just having it. It's on a year play. I have a year play. I still haven't played it off that, so I do want to play it. I am open to the idea of Need for Speed from nostalgia and everything, but yeah, for me, it needs more of that story. It's not going to be a sim. It's called Need for Speed, and it's built off of a history of Lil Jon and the East Side Boys and Neon Ground Kits. Gaming has moved on, as you mentioned. Like those games back then, why would I go play that now when I could play Forza? Because back then, you probably your most interesting racing mechanic was slipstream. If you're behind another car, you go a little bit faster. Whereas in this one, it's like today you can change fucking gear ratios, and I don't know if you can in Forza. I'm just giving examples, and the damage that your car takes and stuff will probably impact on how it drives. Whereas back then, your car didn't get damaged; you just bounced off stuff and then kept going. So yeah, there's definitely the new world offers so much more than the games offered back then. There is definitely a little bit of, I won't say rose tinting, I'd say neon ground kit tinted glasses. Looking back, 100%. But I need more from a new racing game. That said, Criterion and Codemasters merging, that is a wealth of experience. That is exactly that. Codemasters bring you deep realism sim, hard to play games that are trying to be true to the sport. Criterion do that as well, but they also bring you the bells and whistles. So if you get the knowledge of sim, whereas you've also got the bells and whistles, if you put those together, then you've got the potential to make something phenomenal. So if Need for Speed has all of the Criterion pizzazz with some of the Codemasters like efficiency, then that could be something great. And two iconic British studios working together. That's a big thing for the UK games industry as well. So nice.
I think the world's moved on from Burnout as well, or like Ads has put in the chat, and I think other people have put it in as well. I think the world's moved on from Burnout because it was a very good, I don't want to even say novelty because it genuinely wasn't. It would do the spawned many sequels. It was obviously a game that people super enjoyed, and I wasn't one of them. I never really got into it that much to be able to give a full-on opinion of it, but I think the world's moved on from the fact that ramming your car into other cars to try and claim money, because if that's the case, then obviously Twisted Metal's back on the table again, which it was not long ago. I don't know if they're still doing it again. And then things like Destruction Derby, and yeah, I think the world's moved on from Burnout. I think like Graham said, you've got two choices nowadays, which is track and then arcade. I think they're the only two really that people are genuinely interested in. There's not really that much of a middle ground, because if there was, like you said, Driver would be back on the table again.
Yeah, I think Burnout works back then, but now it's a gimmick. Okay, you've got a car and you hit it and hit loads of other cars and you all ping off them and you all multiple flips and stuff, but it's like, how does that fit into the bigger picture? Oh no, that is the picture. All right, so that's it. Just crashing into stuff then. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed playing Burnout back in the day, but didn't Paradise just get remastered? And that didn't necessarily move the needle as such. It was like, oh, that's cool, and it was gone again. And that shows that it's a great game, But in today's environment, burnout satisfies an itch,
Yeah.
not necessarily all the itches. Okay, jump back up through the comments then. What have I missed? Says Ads. Bethesda's delayed Starfield and Redfall. The day before has been delayed until next year. All of those are next year. Dead Space Remake is coming out in January, and then we jumped into this. Criterion and Codemasters have merged studios to work on a new Need for Speed game. The only thing I will add on that before I jump back through the comments as well is that comment of, I said it at the time when we covered this story when the buyout was first happening, that Codemasters was going to keep its identity or whatever they were saying. They're going to keep their leadership. They're going to do their things. Then the CEO and the CFO have all disappeared, and now it's losing its name, and they're going to work with other studios on different games. And it's like, are they going to keep? Are they keeping their identity? Because at the moment it doesn't look like it's keeping their identity very much. But yeah, we'll see. As long as Codemasters' identity remains in the actual games, then that's great. But if we start getting like F1 Ultimate Team, then that's a little bit different. So yeah, give me a new Burnout and a new Midnight Club. Spike, I'll read. Sucks to be them. Sucks to be who? I prefer the open style also, like Need for Speed or Forza instead of GT. Me too, JMK. Me too. Because the passing of time is absolutely ridiculous for me, by the way. Was it last weekend that you got married? Hey, or is it this week? Because I swear it was last week. And if it was last week, what you're doing in the chat, you should be somewhere like asleep on a beach. God damn, but we appreciate you dropping in. Hey, Spike says, never understood why GTA 5 haven't done a proper racing scene DLC that is based on competitive online racing and you win things for winning certain races, etc. Because some people love GTA 5 purely for the racing side of it. See, I think there's the reasoning for that is GTA's success comes from the fact that it doesn't segment things, and I think like splitting things off into having like racing DLC will then start to take people out of the main game and put it into other areas. I think that's probably where it is. They're probably thinking, don't upset the apple cart. Everyone's in here. Everyone's doing races. Everyone's spending a shitload of money anyway. So yeah, well, why would we do a separate DLC thing when people are spending money? So it's probably that sort of thing, keeping everyone in the same pot rather than going, if you want to play GTA but race over here, if you want to play GTA but whatever over here. I think that's probably it. The problem is that no racing games really push the originality. Like Wreckfest is an amazing game, but it needs more, something original and inspiring. I think, is Wreckfest the one that, I mean, and nobody's going to know this because nobody has PS Now, but is Wreckfest the one that's on PS Now? Because if it is, I played that at Pixel Bar. And it was okay, but it was like a crap Destruction Derby in terms of, like, it wasn't crap, but Destruction Derby I enjoyed 25 years ago, and this is 25 years later, and I don't feel like you've said, originality. What was it? Yeah, lack of originality. Nothing's really pushing the envelope if that is that game. Burnout's the best wrestling game. Paradise was just shy. Sucks to be the people who never played Underground. Exactly. If you didn't live underground, that's what you meant, right? If you've never played Underground, no, okay. Oh, the game. Good now. Yep. Married last Saturday, on honeymoon now, just chilling. Ooh, where are you? Where are you? Give us the details. Congratulations again, by the way, dude. It may be. I liked it based on the fact it was just fun racing and deliberate damage. Yeah, it was the same sort of thing. I enjoyed it, but it was the one game that I played. It was like questionable AI. The AI seemed to be really good until I got into like the late game, and because I was playing it in like Pixel Bar, there was no like. It wasn't me and a bunch of mates playing it or playing online or whatever. It was just me versus AI in like battle royale, but with cars. And when they're all there, they're all smashing into each other. It's pretty frantic. But when you get onto like the final three, you could see the AI was a bit like, we've got a few set motions, and after that, we don't fucking know. So I ended up winning because it was me and one other car, and the other car kept trying to drive at me. So I just kept going behind another car, and it kept crashing into that car trying to get me, and it took itself out. I was like, there you go, winner. Disappointing dinner. Let's go. Mini Moon in Galway in Ireland. Going abroad in August. Thanks. Nice. Enjoy. It's your fault. Get some friends.
Yeah, Graham. Do better next time.
The irony is that he's telling me to be more get more friends, but he's sat here watching me on the internet. Okay, move ahead. penultimate story. This is another one that we moved back from earlier on in the week, and this is about Ubisoft. There we go, on screen. Tom Ivan at VGC says Ubisoft CEO says the company has everything it needs to remain independent, but he reiterates that the board will consider any offers in the interest of shareholders. So Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot has commented, that's how you pronounce it, by the way, has commented on recent speculation that the company could be the subject of a takeover bid. The French publisher, which has delayed a significant number of product launches in the last few years and whose reputation has been tarnished by a workplace misconduct scandal, has become the subject of much speculation in recent months amid a growing trend of consolidation in the games industry. Last month, it was reported that the company behind the Rainbow Six and Far Cry series was attracting takeover interest from several private equity firms, including Blackstone Inc. and KKR and Co. Yeah, no, both those two. Yep, completely on board with who they are. No idea. And last week it was claimed that Ubisoft's founding Guillemot family was considering teaming up with a private equity firm to acquire the company. There has been a lot of talk around quotes, actually, by the way. There has been a lot of talk around consolidation in the industry and in Ubisoft in particular, CEO Guillemot said during the company's full year earnings call on Wednesday, transcribed by VGC. Our overall position is clear and well known. As we said last February, we have everything we need to remain independent. We have the talent, the industrial and financial scale, and a large portfolio of powerful IPs to create massive value in the coming years. It has provided us with the plan to build strategic partnerships with the biggest players in entertainment and tech. The current speculation is putting in plain sight the real appeal and value of our assets and of our value creation potential. As mentioned before, as a public listed company, it is best practice for our board to review any offer in the interest of all shareholders and of our great teams. End quote. Guillemot said he wouldn't be making any further comment on the subject during the remainder of the call. I'm going to keep reading because I want to read what this bit says there. So M&A activity, actually, you know, it's in the games that it mergers and acquisitions. That's fine. We don't need to know about others being bought because shitloads of people have been bought, which led shitloads of other people leading to conversations about Ubisoft being bought. Well, if Activision can get bought and they make big games, then there's Ubisoft that make big games, but just not as many or not as much and stuff. So surely if Activision can be bought, then Ubisoft could be bought, right? Right? Well, Ubisoft says no. What are your thoughts, Bim?
It's weird, isn't it, that the norm now is for all these video game companies to be bought out and be owned by somebody else. And I like the fact that they genuinely want to stay as independent as possible without anybody coming in and trying to change anything. I don't think Ubisoft needs to change anything at this moment in time. Forget about all the stuff that's going on there. I mean, it's strictly for the games and the employees not being let go and being made redundant. The games and the IPs that they have got are successful. I was going to say middling with obviously like Far Cry and The Division and stuff like that. Obviously, they haven't been received that well in the public eye for the last couple of years, but things like Assassin's Creed, which has just gone on, brought someone into the franchise that hasn't played one since the first one, who didn't particularly rate it then, but absolutely adored the latest one.
Yeah, see, the thing is that you say that the latest one's good, and all I hear from Spike is that Valhalla is dog shit.
Yeah, he has not played it for 300 hours at all. But yeah, they've got a lot of stuff going on there that is obviously not great for people who are working there, and obviously internally their relationships and the way that they treat their employees needs to change. But for the most part, when it comes down to strictly separating the employees from the games, the stuff that they've got going on game wise is on the up. So they obviously want to stay as independent as possible, so that nothing comes in and changes anything dramatically. So I'm happy with that sense. Obviously, I'm still of the sense that internally they need to restructure the way that they obviously look after their employees, because sometimes it can, from more often than not, it seems to be in the news for all the wrong reasons. But I'm glad that they're staying independent. Everyone doesn't need to be bought out by someone for them to be able to survive, and I'm glad that the company is thriving monetarily, and the games that they're putting out, which is obviously good news for the employees because it means that they won't be let go or made redundant anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. Well, actually, before I answer, I may have got DLC for Ragnarok and 100% of that recently. So Spike, told you, yeah, he hates it. Absolutely, he can't get anywhere near it. The lad, honestly. Tito says I don't have time for Freds now. Ubisoft released the first real content for the Division 2 yesterday. The new weapons and gear is visually broken, and the new mode they've added errors out with an infinite loading screen on completion, so you don't get rewards. Company has massively declined. They're shite. Also worth noting, this was delayed for 6 months. Nice. Vivalanco buys Tito out. Do you know, I'm gonna have to change this then. I'm gonna have to like an exclamation mark ban at Tito. We're gonna have to like have an exclamation mark buy. Sorry, Tito, you're sold. Yeah, there we go. I've only got 12,239 kills on my game save for Spike. Honestly, he hates it. Won't go anywhere. Yeah. So, but what Tito was saying is kind of what I want to touch on, as is what Spike is just saying. You've got two completely different opinions there around Ubisoft. Tito is, and rightly so, for his reasons, believes that the company has massively declined and they're shite. Meanwhile, Spike has bought a game, 100%ed it, then got the DLC and 100%ed that too, because that has been a great game for him. And this is where the rub is with Ubisoft for me. I am not denying that Ubisoft has some incredible games. Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six. They've got some huge, well, the Division, obviously, as Tito was talking about, they've got some huge titles there. But then you also, for the Division 1, you get the Division 2. For every like successful Far Cry, you get Ghost Recon Breakpoint and stuff like that. So I think that's why this story is still around. Does Ubisoft need to be sold? Does it want to be sold? No, it doesn't. It doesn't want or need to be sold because they're happy enough as they are. But the reason this conversation is there, because, I mean, I've just loaded up Ubisoft's list of games. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, good game. I will happily say, I mean, I've not played it, I will happily just put that in the good game category because two people here above say it's good, job's good, nice. Rainbow Six Siege, okay, well, that's a great game. It might not be where it was previously right now, but came out in 2015. People are still talking about it in 2022. Great game, nice. Then you've got Far Cry 6, was an alright game. It wasn't good or bad. It was all right. Rainbow Six Extraction, I've heard bad things about that, but I don't really know. So yeah, okay. Swing, maybe and a miss. Riders Republic. Who's playing Riders Republic? Is anyone playing Riders Republic?
It's stunk of a PlayStation Plus game that or a Game Pass game coming at some point. It was just one of those.
Put that in the swing and a miss category again. The Division 2 swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. 2019.
Division 1 was awesome.
3 years later, Tito's still playing it. So it's clearly got something about it. And tell you what it has about it, the Division 1, like Bibby's just said. That's where the success of Division 2's come from. It's what it should have built on and didn't. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, I don't need to say. No swing, just miss. Ghost Recon every installment. Wildlands has some good community stuff happening right now, but even still, Ghost Recon hasn't really pushed anything. Then you've got like the older like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and like that. Yeah. Immortals Phoenix Rising. We all expected to be a new Breath of the Wild-esque game, but it didn't really do anything. Just Dance. I mean.
That's still being sold on the Wii, I think. In fact, I think the last one might have just been the last one that I sold on there, but it's a game that still goes strong. I mean, imagine most aerobics classes use it.
I mean, it's not for me, so it's clearly charged when I say this. Not Just Dance, Just Stop. There we go. Just Stop. That said, it sells. There is Just Dance 2022, so I didn't even know that existed. So it's clearly someone somewhere is buying it, and they're happy enough with it. So you get the point. And then you go back further, and there's some cool games and stuff in there. But in that list, they've got so many titles that are big names, or were big names, or are big series, or could have been. And there's always the coulda, woulda, shouldas when it comes to Ubisoft. So that's the reason this conversation exists. Are they a massive company? Yes. Up until The Witcher and Cyberpunk started doing bits for CD Projekt Red, were they the most profitable developer in Europe? Yes. But massively flawed. Massively flawed. Yep, they can develop, they can publish, and they've got offices on both sides of the Atlantic all around the world. But just, yeah. If we get hits with the new Avatar game, for example, if that's a hit, have they got a Star Wars game, Ubisoft? Is that what it is? I can't remember what else.
I think they got licensed to make one soon.
Yeah, something like that. So
Because the EA license was up, wasn't it? I
yeah,
think they've managed to renegotiate a couple more titles, but I don't think they had the exclusivity, if I remember rightly.
so we'll stick with that. So if Ubisoft do well with other people's IP, Star Wars and Avatar, and then use that as a way of actually, look, we can use our own IP, and rather than just milking the shit out of it and make good content, rather than making them like empty ass games that we can just renew every 12 to 18 to 24 months, just make something that will satisfy the consumers. Then yeah, if Ubisoft keep doing that, they don't need ever, and if they don't need to be bought. But if they ever do get bought, then they'll be worth so much more than just the bloatware that they peddle right now. Viv says, "What's Riders Republic?" Correct. Correct. If you didn't actually know what Riders Republic is this. This is Riders Republic. It was shown during an E3 conference. We watched it. It was basically downhill riding, but you're on a BMX whilst other people are on wingsuits, whilst other people are on motocross, whilst other people are on snowboards, and it's meant to be we all go downhill our own way, and it was just like, yep, sounds like the game's going that way as well. So yeah. In all fairness, to them, it's a very solid game technically. The issue is that it gets sold very, very quickly. No, I agree. Well, I say agree. I don't know. I've never actually played it, but I don't even need to play it to know that it's going to get very, very old very, very quickly, because this game existed 25 years ago. That's the reason why I love the idea of SSX Tricky, and I'm like, yeah, make another one. Yeah, but it needs to develop, because we are not in the same place we were 25 years ago. We don't all play side scrollers on a 16-bit platform anymore, because time has moved on. Well, yeah.
Again, I'm always the exception to the rule.
So yeah, that's it. Okay, we're going to move into our last story of the day, which is only a brief one. And if you've got a PC, then good news for you, because we've got some free stuff for you. Morgan Park and the crew at PC Gamer have this article, which we come back to every week, and it says, what's free on the Epic Game Store right now? We'll skip past the spiel and we'll jump into the Epic Game Store free right now section. It says, we're on the usual weekly schedule now for Epic's freebies, so keep an eye out for each week's new free choices. This week, what's free until May the 19th is Prey. So Arcane's immersive sim set aboard a space station is essentially System Shock 3 and highly recommended to fans of stealth, spookiness in space, and stories with lots of twists in them. It's been free once before, but if you missed it in December, here's another chance. As well as Prey, there's Jotun Valhalla Edition, which is a beautiful hand-drawn game about killing Norse titans and earning a ticket to Valhalla. There you go, Spike. There's some extra DLC that you didn't know you wanted. Get yourself Jotun Valhalla Edition. And then we get Red Out Enhanced Edition, so a high-speed hovercraft racing game. That's what you can get free right now. But what's interesting in this one, I did see the headlines being shared yesterday, is this. Epic Game Store free games, what's coming next? So we always tell you what's free this week, what you can get right now. This will last until about 4 p.m. on Thursday, so get it before that time and you're good. From that point, we have a mystery game. And that doesn't often happen. When that happens, it's usually something good. So when we've had mystery games, it's been, in the past, as big as GTA 5, completely free on the Epic Game Store. So next week, there is a mystery game coming. It might not be that. It might just be a case of, all right, Simon, did you get next week's free game? Simon sat there with like half a croissant hanging out of his mouth. What? I thought you said it was Steve. No, Steve read out for this week. Oh, is that Steve? Oh, shit. Oh, so it could be just Simon's nipping down, like knocking on Arcane's door and going, have you got any other games that you want to just flog us for a little bit? I saw you, mate. Maybe not. But whatever it is, we will update you. No doubt there will be news on that in the next couple of days. So if you want spoilers for what the free store game, your free game Friday will be, it'll probably be an Epic Game Store update. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll have that for you. But we'll give you a reminder of what you can get free next week. But it's a mystery game. Interesting.
Prey is great, by the way.
Is it?
It's fantastic. Yeah, I remember. In fact, I remember us covering something from the game many years ago, actually, when the game was coming out, and he ended up buying it off of what's it called? Kirk
McKean.
Kirk. Yes, Kirk McKean. He did nothing but bang on about this game. So I thought, do you know what? I'll have a go. And I shit my pants. It's a brilliant game. If anyone's ever played Fear, it's very much in that kind of ilk. But they have these little thing called mimics. Terrifying shit, Graham. Terrifying, because they'll be like a dustbin, and you'll walk past a dustbin and it'll change from a dustbin to this little spider crawly thing, and obviously I'm terrified of spiders. So yeah, it's a brilliant game. If you've never played it, I would definitely suggest getting it, even if it's just to add to your account, then you can see if you like it or not.
Okay, I did load up the Epic Games store early on just to delete stuff off my PC that I've not actually played for ages and didn't even bother looking, so I'll get that. I'll get it now. Into the chats. In all fairness to them, it's on. I've done that one. You're right. Pass me by because, well, yeah, exactly. Spike says I agree. For the record, I've played 500 plus hours in an isometric pixel art game. Yeah, Spike. Yeah. No one's going to play downhill stuff because it's 25 years old. Spike's there playing actual Master System games. Yeah. The thing is, though, Spike is obviously you were joking, but that's the cool thing is rather than just playing 500 hours in an isometric pixel art game. That genre has moved on far enough that you can actually make that game. You can put things you want into that game, and that's the evolution that Riders Republic doesn't have. What Riders Republic did have, and I'm going off of review comments and stuff here, maybe misquoting them, so just go with it. Is dodgy dialogue, like really shit, cheesy. Almost like, yeah, I'm cool. I know the kids. Like, how do you do, fellow kids? Sort of like rider stuff. And it was just like everyone I know that does any form of writing and riding. Like there's plenty of Americans that are skaters or surfers or whatever, downhill bikers that also write articles, and they've gone, yeah. Nobody speaks like this. You speak like this if you're in a 90s film about surfing. Nobody speaks like that anymore, and that's what it was like. That's what you get. Dialogue straight out of an ICU advert kind of dog. Exactly. That's exactly it. The thing is though, the dialogue in an ICU advert is us. I am disappointed that neither of you replied to my screenshot from my map that I tagged you in on Twitter. Well, we actually had a conversation about this, and we didn't want to be seen to, know you in public. But no, I did see the tweet. The tweet, it either came through or someone replied to it or something when I was in the car or something like that. And it was one of those where, I'll come back to that. The downside is, though, if something is opened and then something else comes through in the same app afterwards, it's gone. It's like outside our mind. Because obviously we've got our own content going out almost every day. We're spamming spam quite literally at the moment, and then there's all sorts of other things. So yeah, once it's in, it's out, it's gone. So yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I was driving home, and when I get home from work and I'm looking at my phone, I've got 4,000 notifications. I tend to not respond to a lot of people, and I do apologize for that. I'm currently quote tweeting it with something on there anyway, and it looks fantastic. Like, I can't believe you've actually managed to get the studio desk design in there. It looks unbelievable.
I did see the TVs, but like I said, I was like getting in the car kind of thing. I was like, I need to get on. I'll look at that in a bit. But from my side of things, I mean, let me jump back to Big Me. Look at the bags under my eyes. I've got a fucking dog, so nothing gets my attention for the next couple of weeks at least, because fuck me. Where do we get to? Tongues in Eyes tier 6 OnlyFans. tongues in Eyes. Yeah, that's eyes and ears. G ignoring the touching moment of baby sad about G's death. Nothing. I see how it is. I mean, I'm dead. You killed me. Of course I'm going to ignore that shit.
I genuinely thought that I was wearing a shit shirt, but it just looks like there's a load of blood on a white t-shirt, which is kind of what I'm leaning into on the tweet.
I didn't actually. Okay, do you know what? Let's have a look. Come on, if anyone's got the link to the tweet, do feel free to spaff it in. I never killed you. The zombies had you. No, you shared my death. You shared my death. No, not interested anymore. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Found it. Nice. So this is what it is. So for those that don't know what it is, what we're talking about, I'll take it off the screen. Spike in the chat plays Project Zomboid. I see what you mean about that desk. That is fucking spot on. Wow.
Yeah, you managed to get the poles on either side and everything.
So Spike plays Project Zomboid, which is a game that allows you to mod the maps. You can put your own environments in there. And he asked if he could put the ICU studio. Naturally, we were like, fuck yeah. So we sent him over some pictures and some details of what the studio looks like so he can try and get an idea of what it is and so on. And for anyone that's seen our studio, this is absolutely knocking it out of the park. So just like the ISU studio, you've got GT Mega chairs. That desk is pretty much spot on for what our studio looks like. The uplighting at the back, 3 screens, which is what we've got in the studio now. Me dead on the floor, fuck's sake.
Usually after a 12-hour stream, when it finishes at 5 to 1 in the morning.
You still up at 1 last night? I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, that was literally the conversation yesterday morning.
And then Bibby in his Hawaii 5-0 shirt over there. Let's go. Yeah. That is badass. Yeah, no, Spike just said it in the chat then. No, that is a Hawaii shirt. I was going to say that's not a shirt covered in blood and stuff. That's definitely
Is it not? Is it not? Is it a Hawaiian shirt?
Yeah. Spike said it in the chat. In the chat. So yeah, he's got it.
Let me delete all of that text that I've just written.
Just updated and added some new screenshots from my Project Zomboid map mod, and things have taken a turn for the worst over at Ice Cream Upload Studio. Looks like we've got Babinho is going to have to avenge Graham D. Avenge me, bit. It's getting dark.
I can't. I'm too fat. I've got no cardio, Graham. I'm getting taken down as soon as I leave this building. I tell you what, though, Spike. If you need voice actors, we can do that for you.
Yeah, 100%. Ish. For
a fee.
And then make it so that we can be turned into zombies. So when we're walking around, we can be like full on arms out, going ish. After mornish. Playing the victim again, G. It's all about the internet content. If you're not hurt, then people don't care. So you've got to be. I fucking kill me, man. Nah, that looks badass. So that looks fucking amazing. It looked good before, but he said something about the desk. Actually, that desk was a ball ache. 2 hours to make a fucking desk. It looks spot on, though. For those that haven't seen our studio, I imagine you all have by this point in time. But just for those that haven't, if you are listening to this on demand, then apologies. This is a very visual segment of the stream. So you're just gonna have to run and jump. I will love you. I'm joking. Ice Cream Upload Studio. It's probably going to be old pictures because we've not really posted new. Okay, not of the desk. No, I suppose that one gives you more of a feel for the desk. But like, if I bring this up, so as you can see there, rounded top on the desk, then like a box sort of middle, screen on the front, 2 poles on the side, and then we go back to Spike's image. Perfect. Absolute perfect. GG, Spike. GG's. I apologise. No, I'm dead. I don't even care. Dead people don't hear apologies or anything. Bibby didn't save him. Or Bibby didn't want to save him.
I needed your ammo, Graham. Needed the ammo.
He did that thing where he shot me in the leg so that he could run away. Oh, no.
Hey. What year was you born, Graham?
What's going to be believable? 91, 85. 85.
Okay.
No, I apologise for how I got the screenshot. Okay. Protect your friends. I mean, it didn't. That's what it says on the screenshot. So I apologize. You should be apologising for that bit. God damn. Protect your friends, Bib. Look, there. Honestly. Protect
your neck.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, if you want to know how I created that screenshot, I had to kill you without making too much of a mess. So I may have had to make you drink bleach. Where the fuck?
Do not try this at home, by the way.
This goes from how can you go from dead to worse? You can go from bad to worse, but goddamn. So yeah, there you go. If you want a pro tip for life, it's don't let Spike make a mod of your life in a studio in a video game, because he's just gonna poison you with fucking bleach, man. Do you know what? Despite that, it still looks good. Twat. Lumps. The camera is old school BBC studio style. That's exactly what we have in the studio, by the way. Absolutely 100% what we have in the studio. Oh, Salford sirens are out. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but they're there. Bibbit, thirster confirmed. I mean, I was the thirster, clearly. Needed a fucking drink.
on this though, that when it comes to battle royales and thirsting, I'm split, because I see a lot of people kicking off at it all the time. But I put me in the camp of getting rid of them out of the fucking game. Like, if I'm downing someone, they're going. I don't care if I'm thirsting or not. Oh, they're irrelevant once I've killed them.
You should have been here on Wednesday. We had this conversation on Wednesday. Tito was like, it's a battle royale. You're supposed to kill people. It was like, that's not the point. You're missing the point. Like, there's a guy that flushed me after I dropped one of his teammates, and I thought, you know what? I can thirst him right here, right now. But, like, I can use him as bait, whereas that guy could have used me as bait. But that wasn't the issue. The issue was that he pinged out from behind a wall when Lotus and Beans or Nichio were stood next to me. So he just got himself killed with the aim of killing me out. But he had one friend down, which was one that I'd downed. And then there was 3 of them still up. So it was then 3 against 3. Because he got himself exposed to danger, it became 3 against 2. So his team were instantly outnumbered. And that's when it's stupid. There's nothing wrong with thirsting, because the whole point of Battle Royale is last one live. You're supposed to kill each other, 100%.
Using them tactically. If I think they're a much better team and they've dinged me a few times, and I know that I'm probably not going to be able to wipe them all, I'm getting rid of their mate out of the game. Like, I don't care if someone else ends up messaging me saying I'm first or whatever. Like, they're gone. Like, I'm not giving them the opportunity to get rezzed. If I use them as bait tactically, that's fine. But if I know that they could potentially go on and win the game at the expense of me, I'm taking one of them fuckers out with me.
Yeah, that's a bit different though, because that's like you going. It's almost like. What's the animal that you say you don't want to put something into a corner because they go and they get nasty kind of thing. That's that. You're in a corner, so you think, fuck it, I'm taking Summit down with me. I'm gonna lose this fight. I'm gonna take someone. That is what it is. If it's 1 against 4 and they've 3 of your teammates are down, I'd probably do the same, because you think, fuck it, I'm gonna lose. I'm taking someone with me. But when one of theirs, like the other times where it's more apparent is like, say if it's 4 against 4, and we've all branched off into individual fights, effectively. I shoot you and you're on the floor next to me. And I'm like, well, I can kill you here, but do you know what? We'll try have an honourable fight. Whoever wins gets to go on, kind of thing. And then someone else in your team has a fight, drops Beans, and then instantly puts a bullet in his head. And I'm still stood next to you. It's like, okay, well, there we go. Then you're dead now.
Go down as well.
And that's where it is. It's not about should you kill someone in a game where you're supposed to kill people. It's people making stupid choices around that, and that comes as a result of PUBG not having respawn mechanics, and in the early days, people went and just killed everyone. And then, because the game needed its own community to survive, you get that sort of like, every game has unwritten rules. Like in FIFA, if you score a goal or whatever, I should quit. And then some people get pissy. Why are you not quitting? Because I've scored past you. And it's like, well, that's not how the game is meant to be played, but it's that unwritten rule. And some people are just dense and will just kill themselves with it. But yeah. Too late. Bleach tastes fuck rank. Yeah, we would not recommend anyone drinking bleach, because if you drink bleach, well, then you end up with Bibby cowering over your dead body going, oh, that's a nice watch. Look, see look where Bibby's hand is, and then look where my watch should be. There's no watch there. So there you go. Don't drink bleach or Bibby takes your watch. That's actually my watch hand as well. Fuck's sake, Bib. Honestly.
Damn it.
I'm with G. I get using a guy to draw his teammates in, but there's nothing to be gained as they blow his head off. Pow! Yeah. I mean, we do it all the time. Like, if you see someone trying to crawl behind cover, like, if you down someone in the open and their teammates don't come out and push for him, and then they're taking advantage of the fact that you've dropped him, waiting for him to crawl behind cover, I go, well, you're just going to make yourself safe now. What's the point? You're dead. That's it. If you'd have tried to aggress me, then I wouldn't have thirsted him. But because you're just sat behind the wall, hiding and waiting, I'm going to thirst you do. So, yeah. Honey Badger, or yeah, that's it, Honey Badger, yeah, or at least another will take on Lions just cause. Yeah, because they're fucking hard fucks, mate. But you have a nice clean bowel for burial. Well, that's true, swings and roundabouts. Clean bowel, can't use it. Swings and roundabouts. There you go. But that's the end of the show. Thank you, everyone that's joined us for all of the scoops this week, or even any of the scoops, or even a little bit of just one of the scoops. Anyone that does drop in, we appreciate your support on the channel. The support doesn't have to be financial. We don't require anyone to sub, anyone to throw any bits down, anyone to donate, any of that stuff. You don't have to. It does help, as we've showed you many, many times. All of the subs, all of the revenue goes back into the channel, which is where that studio that Spike's made. Bits in it. Speaking of bits, Lumps. Thank you very much for the bits, dude.
Hero.
Standard Lumps 32. You love to see it. Thank you very much, dude. Appreciate that. But yeah, those bits, those pay for things like this, the back walls and stuff like that, and the desk screens and the uplights. And the reason we've got a badass studio is because every penny that you put into it, we put it back into the setup. So we appreciate that, but you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. Just dropping into the streams is all we need. Just someone to have a bit of a chat with. Nice. Viv says, in case anyone sees my wife, the hat was a gift, and I definitely did buy it.
Pants.
And the funerals, yeah, they're not cheap. I'm gonna need at least one of them, probably a few more, knowing Spike. God damn. So yeah, we are gonna disappear now. That's it for the scoops this week. We do have gameplay though. It's a double header. We have some PUBG tomorrow and then some Fortnite. So if you want some BR experiences, do feel free to join us over the next couple of days. We'll bring you that. We'll find people not getting flushed on Saturday, and then fucking flush them motherfuckers on the Sunday.
Absolutely. Get them fucking out of here!
Only difference is they come back again and you get a chance to get them again. But I mean, you could have probably killed them 3 times in Fortnite. In the one time, the 10 minutes it takes me to come back in the PUBG fucking respawn arena. Just 10 minutes to go. What? Nope. No. So yeah, as mentioned, do feel free to join us tomorrow for some PUBG. Saturday PUBG, Sunday Fortnite. Before that happens though, Mr. Bib.
Yes.
Anything you want to say?
Yes, again, thank you very much to each and every one of you that have joined us for today's episode of The Scoop. And in fact, all this week's episodes of The Scoop, we very much appreciate it. But if you want to help shape next week's shows, there is 2 ways you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. It is at ISSY across all major social media platforms. Or alternatively, get involved with our Discord. If you're watching this on any of our on-demand services, go into the description below. All the links that you require will be listed there for you. But all we need from you is URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next Scoop show, which will be at what time on Monday, Mr. Graham Day?
6 a.m. No, 10 a.m. No, 2 p.m. ish.
No, there's no ish. Accurate.
Yeah, I still feel like we might need the ish. Cheers for the stream, guys. You're welcome, JMK. Thank you for dropping on the honeymoon. Enjoy your weekend, dude. Lump says, Fortnite, no build, PUBG, no kill. I mean, some days that do be what it is. PUBG, no kill. Fuck. Okay, we'll turn it off. Just as much chance of it being 6 a.m. to be fair. Exactly, mate. Exactly. No chance.
Following morning.
You got no chance in hell. For now, though, we're going to disappear. Have yourselves a beautiful weekend if we don't see you tomorrow Sunday for the gameplay. Until Monday, stay frosty.